Did you know that just 5 minutes a day can transform your posture, helping you stand taller and relieving that nagging backache? Well, I'm here to tell you it is. My name is Phil Evans, and as a chartered physiotherapist with 20 years of experience, I've helped thousands of people over 50 reclaim their mobility and posture using simple, effective routines. In today's video, I'm revealing game-changing exercises and techniques that have proven results. I'll show you how you can maintain these results long term, and I'll show you a powerful technique that will boost your confidence in your posture almost immediately. Now, before I show you the exercises, let me show you a key reason why most people struggle with poor posture as we get older. It works the same way as a tree growing in the forest. Trees grow towards the sun, and over time, one side of the tree gets more sun than the other, and so the tree starts leaning towards that side, so it can soak up as much sun as possible. But as it keeps growing to one side, it becomes less stable, and when a storm rushes through, it potentially snaps under the pressure. And that same thing happens with our posture. Studies have shown that most of us spend 6 to 8 hours a day sitting, often slouching over computers, or bending our necks to look at our phones. If we spend day after day slouched at our desks, muscles tighten or even weaken, and it becomes the natural position for our body to be in. This leads to discomfort, it leads to pain, reduced mobility, and just like that unstable tree snapping in the storm, we end up with an increased risk of injuries and falls. But here's the good news. You don't need hours of rigorous training or medical interventions to correct it. Scientists found that participants who were sat still for 4.5 hours had a lot of stiffness in the back, but those that had their muscles contracted by an electrical stimulator didn't have back stiffness at all. In fact, it almost completely reversed back stiffness. So what does this mean to you? Well, you probably don't have an electrical muscle stimulator lying around. The good news is there's an even better solution that will not only relieve muscle tension in your back, but also your shoulders and hips. The key? By taking 5 minutes a day to do the exercise I'm about to show you. You'll be activating the muscles you don't use when you sit all day. It'll improve your posture, so you naturally stand up taller and straighter, increase the range of motion, and reduce the risk of falls. There's 5 simple yet extremely effective exercises that I've identified that deliver the best results. What's exciting is that I've seen patients in my clinic in their 60s and 70s improve their posture within weeks. With that, let's jump into the first exercise. But please note, consult a doctor before starting your exercises if you have any underlying health issues. Let's start with your upper back, but before we start strengthening your muscles, it's essential to first release tension in your tight mid and upper back. Start by getting on all fours, positioning your hands directly under your shoulders. Start by turning your elbows towards your thighs, which helps activate your muscles on the sides of your back called your lats. While taking deep breaths in, gently raise your tailbone up towards the ceiling and push your chest towards your arms. This motion stretches your belly muscles. Now, pull your shoulder blades together and lift your chin up. If you do this correctly, you'll feel the muscles in the middle of your back working. Hold this position for 30 seconds. This is the first part of the exercise. Next, as you breathe out, imagine a rope attached to your mid-back, pulling it upwards towards the ceiling, which will make your spine round slightly. Push down against the floor to help spread your shoulder blades apart. Then use the muscles in your neck to gently tuck your chin down towards your knees or belly button. This will give you a deep stretch in the muscles of your back and neck. Hold this position for about 30 seconds. This next exercise is still aimed at improving your upper back mobility, but now into thoracic rotation. So let's start by getting on all fours, making sure your hands are directly under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. To make this stretch more effective, place a foam roller, a ball, or a folded up pillow between your legs and squeeze it. This helps activate your core muscles and keeps your back straight. Now, push against the floor with your arms straight, take a deep breath out, and slide your left arm with your palm up underneath and across your body as far as you can, letting your right arm bend a little. You should feel a stretch in the middle and upper parts of your back, and you might feel it in your side muscles too. Hold this for 5 seconds. Then pull your left hand back and continue to rotate it up towards the ceiling. Make sure you only move as far as feels comfortable for you. Hold this top position for a moment before going back to the start, trying to stretch a little further each time. This twist activates the muscles in your mid and upper back. Repeat this on your other side. Many of us tend to feel one side of our body is tighter than the other, and that's usually because we favour one side in our daily activities. But don't worry, making this stretch a regular part of your routine can really help balance things out. Now, the first two exercises are great for improving flexibility and temporarily loosening your tight upper body muscles. But to truly maintain these results and correct your posture long term, research has shown that it's essential to combine them with some strengthening exercises. So this next exercise is aimed at strengthening your upper back and shoulders. So let's start by lying on your stomach with your forehead either resting on the floor or slightly raised above it, and place your hands by your side. Begin by pulling your shoulders back and down, imagining you are squeezing your shoulder blades together. Once you've pulled back as far as possible, lift your arms off the floor with your palms facing down towards the floor. Hold this top position for 10 seconds while squeezing your shoulder blades together, engaging your mid back and shoulder muscles, and aim for 5 to 10 repetitions. To intensify this exercise, move your arms to reach a T shape with your thumbs facing upwards. Using your mid-back muscles, raise your arms as high as possible. Hold this top position for a few seconds while squeezing your shoulder blades together and aim for 5 to 10 repetitions. This will help you build the strength needed to maintain the improved flexibility from the first two stretches. Now let's address your lower body, particularly strengthening your glutes, which tend to weaken if you're sitting for most of the day. But first, it's essential to loosen up your hip flexors, as research suggests that if these muscles are tight, they can stop your glutes from firing. So let's stretch your hip flexors first. Position yourself on all fours near a wall or an elevated surface like a bench, a couch, or a chair. Ease yourself into a kneeling position and step your foot forwards until your shin is vertical and align your hips directly in front of you. Engage your core and think of your hips as a bowl of water. You want to level them out so none of that water spills forwards. You should now feel a significant stretch in the quads and hip flexors of your back leg. This stretch should be a comfortable challenge, around a 4 or 5 out of 10 in intensity. If it feels too intense, simply lean slightly forwards to ease off. Stretching should help, not hurt, so please listen to how your body feels. If you want to deepen the stretch, then push your hips back towards your foot. Just make sure you keep your lower back from arching as you adjust. This way, you'll get the most out of the stretch without straining yourself. Hold this stretch for 30 seconds on each leg. To further intensify this exercise and target your hip flexors in the quad, prop your back leg up onto a platform. Now that your hip flexors are feeling looser, let's shift our focus to strengthening those glutes. This is super important for improving and maintaining good posture. From my experience, if you can do 10 to 20 reps of a glute bridge exercise, it's a great sign of your overall mobility and strength. Plus, it's essential for staying active well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Getting the hang of the glute bridge helps build strength you need for everyday tasks, whether it's getting out of bed, standing up from a chair, or climbing stairs. All of these activities really depend on having good posture and lower body strength. That's why I usually recommend the glute bridge to my patients. Not only does it support a strong upright posture, but it also boosts your overall mobility as you age. So let's start off by lying on your back. Bend your knees and plant your feet flat on the floor. Angle your elbows out and press them into the ground, which will give you some stability. Now here's the important part. Engage your core to flatten your lower back against the floor. We're not looking for any back arch here. Then squeeze those glute muscles hard and lift your hips up. Keep them contracted at the top. Remember, no arching that lower back. Instead, keep your core tight and tilt your hips back by really clenching those glutes together. Hold this position for a count of 5. Exhale and slowly lower your hips back to the floor, controlling the movement throughout the descent. That's 1 rep. If you're feeling this more in your quads than your glutes, try moving your feet a bit further away from you. On the flip side, if your hamstrings are doing all the work, bring those feet a little closer. Repeat this 10 to 15 times. To make the glute bridge more challenging, try the single leg variation. Lift 1 leg while performing the bridge. This version adds intensity and engages to stabilize the muscles in the side glutes even more. They'll also help highlight any strength imbalances in your glutes. I suggest aiming to do each exercise for 1 minute at a time at least once a day. And if you can, try for twice a day, especially if you sit a lot. The key here is consistency and frequency. If you do this regularly, you'll start to see some positive changes that you can maintain, and you'll move, feel, and even look taller. Now, let's dive into a powerful 3-step technique that will boost your confidence in your posture almost immediately. I call this the string and stack method, and it's super simple. It combines visualization with a few small adjustments to help you stand taller and feel grounded in seconds. First, imagine a string attached to the top of your head. Picture that string gently pulling you upwards like you're being lifted towards the ceiling. As you do this, let your spine lengthen and lift your head, keeping your chin level with the ground. Your ears should line up right over your shoulders. Just doing this will make you feel more open and aligned. Now, let's go through each part of your body to get everything stacked perfectly into place. Start by setting your feet shoulder width apart, making sure your weight is balanced evenly on both sides. Keep a slight bend in your knees, avoid locking them as this keeps your posture relaxed and natural. Next, give a gentle tuck to your pelvis by engaging your core muscles. This will align your hips and your spine and prevent any arching in the lower back. Move up to your shoulders and roll them up, back and down, which opens up your chest and immediately adds confidence to your stance. Let your arms rest naturally by your sides with your palms facing slightly forwards to encourage a relaxed, open look. This alignment not only feels great, but also gives a confident, grounded look from head to toe. Now, take a deep breath in, expanding your rib cage, and imagine your whole chest filling up without raising your shoulders. Then exhale slowly, letting your core engage and your body settle into this strong, stable posture. Do this 3 times to help everything feel locked in. So why does this technique work? It's because it combines that visualization of lifting with small adjustments that align each part of your body. It's like a reset button on your posture, and it signals to your brain that you're calm, centered, and confident. So next time you're about to step into a meeting to give a presentation or just need a quick boost, try this out. You'll feel taller, more grounded, and ready to take on whatever's next. The thing is, now your posture is improved, it's likely caused years of damage and created a ticking time bomb to your hips. So watch this video next to discover the one exercise that will fix your hip pain fast and get you feeling 20 again. I'll see you there.